Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you. Wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so this is going to be the readings for Life Path 1. Life Path 1. Okay. And Life Path 1 messages only. How you guys doing? Happy New Year, right? Life Path 1. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are doing okay. Enjoyed your new year, right? Find one thing to be happy about every day. That's the easiest way to shake seasonal depression. Okay? Thief. Oh shoot. Overall. And false person. All right, Life Path 1s. When I'm reading for the collective of Life Path 1, right? Please understand that these can come out as names, these can come out as actual people or events, and this can also turn out as you don't necessarily have to uh, associate it with a zodiac sign. This is about the life path, not the zodiac sign. That's something that people kind of get a little bit confused, right? And if you're going to watch multiple readings, make sure that you're taking notes and correlating the two. I mean, like taking physical notes if you're serious about this and correlating the two. All right. So, overall essence so far is, or not overall essence, but what we got so far is thief, not having a great fortune, toil and labor, message of concern, despair. Okay. So in the event you're an alchemist to any capacity, uh, it'll be talking about the robbery, right? That'll come into place. And then what this is given is what it is to be a thief or have the name Robert, Robin. Uh, I think Riley has shown up as like this before in a reading. I'm hearing that name, but those are just a couple names, just to name a few, right? But the thief, not having a great fortune, toiling, not having a great fortune, and being in despair, or not being in despair, not having a great fortune, not working, not having a message of concern, and it not being a concern of one not being in despair or being wrong is kind of what I'm getting from that. False person, the actor and actresses. So actor, if you're an actor or an actress, right? What it is to this is kind of given in the false person, whether it's method or method acting, or even if it's what they call it, um, catfishing. Life path ones, I don't understand why you would catfish, and then it being marriage commitments and things of that nature that'll come into place. That's what the disparity is. Stealing a marriage, okay, stealing a commitment. Let me say this: life path one, this overall essence of despair, I can understand it. However, where you would need to focus on for you, life path one, is you are a person who constitutes as a magician. You take initiative, right? So the despair that will come into place with a stolen commitment, it means you didn't want that commitment. Pay that some attention. All right. House, the house not being a gift. That's a necessity, right? The other portion, or the incoming gifts, right? But the house as a gift. Some of this is that how is talking about how the stealing of the commitments within the different commitments that one would have had within the foundation. The foundation isn't a gift. Giving a person it's not a gift. not a gift or it wasn't a gift. Life Path 1, what this is giving, we're going to get a little bit into it, just not a whole lot though. But what this is giving is the difference between knowing what a gift or a present is versus knowing what a partnership is. And what happens with a stolen partnership, Life Path 1, that's the despair that comes into place when you steal it, and the other portion of it is when you give it away. When you give it away to somebody else, is what this is kind of giving. Let's see what else we got. No, because one of the things that I'm really thinking of is when you have a foundation, or when you have a space, and certain things aren't gifted to you, right? Certain things are a responsibility, and it requires for there to be a commitment to come into place. In the passion, and then they're being in the spiritual contract or in different contracts. I don't know which one this is going to be pertaining to, right? The overall essence with there being this unhappiness, right? It's a passionate new beginning for a rebirth in what it is that wouldn't have been known about attracting the spiritual tribe, spiritual connections. This gonna be, you know what this is giving, Life Path 1. I'm glad this came out in your reading, because this is gonna be not only for the Life Path 1s, but also magicians as well. Magicians are those people, those of us who know how to shift our essence to build and create, right? It's given that in the beginning of the commitment being reborn, that an individual wouldn't have known, wouldn't have had the enlightenment of this Queen of Wands essence, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm saying Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. In short, I'm calling it what it is, but what I'm hearing is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But it'll be about the inspiration that comes into place with being attractive and attracting one's spirit tribe and spiritual connections, and the health, and having healthy emotions is something else that's really coming to me. Anything? Oh, that's a lot. Anything else? All right. Overall essence is gonna be about having the spiritual essence of what it is to have a cup, a spiritual cup. I'm hearing spiritual cup, but I'm saying spiritual cup, but I'm hearing like Stanley Cup. So it's giving like competition. Okay, let me say this. Depending on what the commitments are, you shouldn't be putting people in competition. This is going, especially if you're talking about attracting your spirit tribe. Your spirit tribe shouldn't have to compete. They're all a part. Your spirit tribe is different parts of your spirit reflected back to you. So it tells you a lot about who you are based out of the people it is that you are associated with. 9/11, when I said that, and there being it being an emergency, some stuff being an emergency with what it is you would be attracting, because the reality is, you know, you're attracting these people, right? And then what it is that would have been hidden in these situations would have been in regards to not waiting for conflict. I'm also getting that what would have been hidden is there would have been a conflict 3 weeks ago, and one not having the intelligence of a conflict. yeah, what it's giving is I didn't know that this was I didn't know that this was I didn't know that this was a problem. That's the despair that comes into place with it in the beginning. How things would have been a problem, but they wouldn't. And then even in the loving oneself, let me go ahead and say this. In this whole situation of a person loving themselves, it should not ever be a conflict when this overall essence is Ace of Cups and it starts off with Ace of Wands. You got two definitive outlooks of it starting with self, right? And what it is to start with yourself. All right. Let's get this by Sage Tarot and move to this next one. Knight of Wands. All right, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. For Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that's gonna be the rising sign, right? But Sagittarius, in short, the awareness that comes in within one making a decision. What happens when a decision has been made in regard and there being a tower? Okay, this is the mutable madness portion that comes into place with it. I don't the planets I see in here though for you to pay attention to is when Pluto went retrograde and when the sun shifted poles. When the sun shifted poles from the north to the south, that brought out the cooler side of fire signs. Okay, so what it would do is, opposed to making them really fiery and fierce, it would encourage passion. Okay, so it's that part. The other portion of it, right? It'll be about what it is that would have been let go of in the desires 4 years ago. What I'm getting from this is, like Path One, you need to do some sacral chakra healing. And then there being this whole ideology of bad news with one not making an offer in this rebirth. If you've been reborn multiple times or had ascensions and things of this nature, yeah, and the bad news last year, bad news, yeah, and not holding the boundaries. What happens when a person doesn't hold boundaries? Life Path One, I understand that you're a magician and everything, but magicians know how to show their own face and they do their own work. It is not constituted as a magician if you getting somebody else to do and say what you need to. Because remember, when it started off, it was about false persons. Excuse me, it was about false persons. It was about catfish. All of that constitutes as catfish when you play the game of telephone. So I'm hoping that helps you guys out just a little bit. Gave you a tad bit of an inclination of a few different things it is that will be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so. And Like Work Ain't Like Work LLC. Let me get you a wisdom real quick. The Goblin. Oh, Life Path One, it's not good for you to be in Goblin essence. It's really not, because you're going to start manifesting things that's just for you. And you got to pay attention to, yeah, because it's one of those, if you want to try and make, with the whole unhappiness, you can't make everybody happy all the time. That means you're not being a good leader and you're not really walking in your life path. You're too busy trying to make everybody else happy. You're not worried about making yourself, or not making yourself, but making decisions that are long term happiness. You're looking for short term gratitude. All right. So the Goblin, music, poetry, myth, history, the enchantment of storytelling. And then you have the cat, boundaries. Yep, in A Passion New Beginning, it was about boundaries. Everything was about boundaries and the wisdom that comes into place with the joy of having boundaries, meaning not everybody can get in. Everybody ain't supposed to get in. How you gonna sit out? How you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in. Leg out. Okay. All right. So hopefully that helps you guys out just a little bit. Gave you a tad bit of an inclination of a few different things it is that would be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you're more than welcome to do so at lightwork and lightwork LLC at gmail.com. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't like work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.